Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. A spiritual user manual for life. This channel is dedicated to reading, unpacking, and analyzing the text section of the book, A Course in Miracles. The objective of the book is to retrain us in the proper use of our minds. This way we become more enlightened spiritually, use our minds in a more conscious manner, enjoy greater fulfillment of our pursuits, have the tools to face whatever challenges confront us, be able to resolve problems whenever they appear, regardless of the form they take. It provides in-depth knowledge on the workings of the mind, our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and will. How they all come together to create our reality, individually and collectively. The sparkly version of the book is used to distinguish between the text and my commentary. The word text will precede the text. The word comments will precede the commentary. Knowledge is also drawn from the Seth books of Jane Roberts. If this is of interest to you, this is the channel for you. This video is for sections 1 and 2 in Chapter 3, Retraining the Mind. A viewing of the last video, Chapter 2, The Meaning of the Last Judgment, will be helpful and get you current. Let's begin. Text. This is a course in mind training. All learning involves attention and study at some level. Some of the later parts of the course rest too heavily on these earlier sections not to require their study. You will also need them for preparation. Without this, you may become much too fearful when the unexpected does occur to make constructive use of it. However, as you study these earlier sections, you will begin to see some of their implications, which will be amplified considerably later on. Comments. The objective of this course is to help us identify and remove all the obstacles to the awareness of love's presence, to which I can confirm there are many. In doing so, we must learn the basics of the mind, its various components, the laws that govern it, a proper criteria for making decisions and evaluating their results. How we create the reality we experience, individually and collectively. However, to achieve these, we must first become aware of how we've allowed a lot of flawed content to enter our minds and grow deep roots. How this has resulted in numerous undesirable and fearful experiences. How it has resulted in so many seeking change, desperate for solutions to their problems. Their prayers have been heard. This is the answer. For it to work, we must prepare ourselves, for we are the ones that will bring about that change. Text. The reason a solid foundation is necessary is because of the confusion between fear and awe to which we have already referred, and which so many people hold. You will remember that we said that awe is inappropriate in connection with the sons of God, because you should not experience awe in the presence of your equals. However, it was also emphasized that awe is a proper reaction in the presence of your Creator. I have been careful to clarify my own role in the atonement, without either over or understating it. I have also tried to do the same in connection with yours. I have stressed that awe is not an appropriate reaction to me because of my inherent equality. Some of the later steps in this course, however, do involve a more direct approach to God Himself. It would be most unwise to start on these steps without careful preparation, or awe will be confused with fear, and the experience will be more traumatic than beatific. Healing is of God in the end. The means are being carefully explained to you. Revelation may occasionally reveal the end to you, but to reach it the means are needed. Comments. Here is some wonderful and radical news. First, we and Jesus are equal. As we are both members of the sonship, many will have difficulty with this idea. The other, which is the truly wonderful and radical part. Sometime in the future we will be able to approach our Creator directly. Naturally, before this can happen, we will have to prepare ourselves. That idea should definitely pique our curiosity. Motivate us to prepare for it. Text. Special principles for miracle workers. Number 1. The miracle abolishes the need for lower-order concerns. Since it is an out-of-pattern time interval, the ordinary considerations of time and space do not apply. When you perform a miracle, I will arrange both time and space to adjust to it. Comments. The shift from being physically oriented to a more mental and spiritual orientation begins. This shift was hinted at in previous sections, Now, it is ready to be taught. This shift begins with us accepting the fact we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, which means that our primary existence is the spiritual realm. Like everything else about this course, it is a paradigm shift. In practical terms, it means that everything that exists in the world, including all of our experiences, starts first as an idea in our minds, then becomes physical. Under the law of cause and effect, the mind is the cause. The physical is the effect. As our understanding and acceptance of this grows, it will be easier for us to accept events that do not seem to follow the rules of time and space. Text. Number 2. Clear distinction between what has been created and what is being created is essential. All forms of correction or healing rest on this fundamental correction in level perception. Number 3. Another way of stating the above point is, never confuse right with wrong-mindedness. Responding to any form of miscreation with anything except a desire to heal or a miracle is an expression of this confusion. Comments. We all engage in some type of learning or training activity, whether it is a musical instrument, sports, school, driving a car, a profession, speaking, walking. We all have to learn, train ourselves to become proficient. Part of this process involves mistakes. When they occur, we may become upset, frustrated, even to the point of quitting. In some situations, that is an option. In others, it is not. Regardless, success is always a result of not quitting, but finding a way to learn from and grow beyond our mistakes. As we progress, we look back on these experiences and realize that they were necessary, essential to our growth. They were not mistakes. They were part of the learning process. This is how miracles heal. Text. Number 4. The miracle is always a denial of this error and an affirmation of the truth. Only right-mindedness can create in a way that has any real effect. Pragmatically, what has no real effect has no real existence. Its effect, then, is emptiness. Being without substantial content, it lends itself to projection in the improper sense. Comments. A mistake remains a mistake only if we do not learn from it. Recognizing and using it in a proper manner allows it to become something constructive and productive, which is its true purpose. To focus on its effect and not move beyond that turns it into something unproductive, even destructive, which, unfortunately, is what we do in too many instances. We need to look for the good in everything. Text. Number 5. The level adjustment power of the miracle induces the right perception for healing. Until this has occurred, healing cannot be understood. Forgiveness is an empty gesture unless it entails correction. Without this, it is essentially judgmental rather than healing. Comments. Looking at life from a mentally oriented versus a physically oriented perspective changes everything. We are not at the mercy of unseen forces. We are in control of our experiences, our reality, individually and collectively. We create our reality using our mental resources. This is true for everyone. Naturally, it will take a while for us to become adept at this. It includes making a lot of mistakes, learning from them, growing beyond them, helping others do the same. This is why we are here. This is the way forward. Text. Number 6. Miraculous forgiveness is only correction. It has no element of judgment at all. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, in no way evaluates what they do. It is strictly limited to an appeal to God to heal their minds. There is no reference to the outcome of their misthought. That does not matter. Comments. Mistakes are meant to teach through correcting them. Sometimes that can be difficult, even painful, but always necessary. Any of us can testify to decisions and actions made, by us or others, that were deliberate, intentional, designed to inflict some sort of undesirable effect on others. Under the golden rule, what you give, you will receive. When that recognition is made, we learn from them and find ways to atone. Unfortunately, sometimes that recognition does not occur. Instead, the mistakes are repeated, each time growing in magnitude. Eventually, the connection is made, usually after a very undesirable personal impact. But the law is the law. It can be misunderstood but not violated. We all must learn. This is how we grow and move on. Text. Number 7. The biblical injunction "be of one mind" is the statement for revelation readiness. My own injunction "do this in remembrance of me" is the request for cooperation from miracle workers. It should be noted that the two statements are not in the same order of reality. The latter involves a time awareness, since to remember implies recalling the past and the present. Time is under my direction, but timelessness belongs to God alone. In time we exist for and with each other. In timelessness we coexist with God. Comments. At some point in our growth, we come to realize that we are all connected. We are all in the mind of God. There is a lot implied in this truth, some of which we will learn in this physical experience. This truth existed even before time began. Proof of this is found in prior statements that referred to the sleep we fell into occurring millions of years ago, and expected to continue for millions more. The atonement principle was in existence before this occurred. The atonement plan came into existence in response to this event. Our participation in this plan is essential to its success. We cannot succeed otherwise. The conclusion I come to from these statements is, we awaken from our sleep by learning and helping others through the atonement plan. At some point we will learn as much as we can while here, or the minimum that is necessary, which will allow us to graduate to a level that is beyond time. What will that be like? I don't know, but I plan to find out. As always, our task is to put these ideas to the test. Determine if they are valid and reliable. For those that made it this far into the video, here's a meditation tip. Spend a few minutes of quiet time, preferably at the start or end of your day, focusing on being as peaceful and gentle as you can with yourself. Thanks again for joining me on this journey. If you've gotten any value from this video, please like, share, and subscribe.